Welcome to the Cozy Convos podcast. I am your host, Elijah, and I am so excited to be here with you all today. For today's topic, we are going to be chatting about how solitude actually saved my life.
Let's have a conversation and make it cozy. Let's dive into the unknown so we can continue growing. It won't always feel so comfortable letting go of limited beliefs. But we know we have big dreams and goals, so we're committed even when truth gets heavy. Let's have a conversation and make it cozy. Let's address the hard things and still make it feel so cozy. Let's embrace our flaws so we can feel even more cozy. This safe space won't make you feel anything other than cozy.
I hope everybody is feeling beautiful today or tonight, whenever it is that you're watching this. Now, I know in a few past episodes, we kind of have touched on this topic a little bit, but I felt like it was something that needed to be dug into deeper to kind of really get you guys to understand my perspective on how solitude was actually more beneficial for me, especially being in a new city by myself. Now, some of you may know because you've been keeping up with my journey, but for those of you who don't know, I've been on my own for about June 2023. So a few months over 2 years, but I've been in New York since July 2023, towards the end of July 2023. So 2 years and some change, I would say I've been on my own independently. And I really want to break down how me being here by myself for over 2 years has actually made me a lot stronger. Oftentimes, when people think of the word alone, I feel like it creates fear. In today's society that thrives off of codependency and group thinking, being alone is kind of a foreign concept. And it's understandable, of course, we're humans. We crave connection, we crave family, we crave friends, we crave love. That's what we were put on this earth to do, is love and spread it. But I think that relationships have been so corrupted, and our view and our understanding of what those relationships should look like. So I think a lot of the times we think we're supposed to stay in these relationships because that's what you're supposed to do, when in actuality, those may be the relationships that are hindering you from seeing, the progress in your life, or from really just healing. When I first disconnected from toxic relationships, I was not aware of how long it would take me to find the right people. I wasn't aware of how long my solitude was going to last. And as time progressed, my solitude forced me to face certain traumas, certain wounds that I wouldn't have faced had I stayed in those relationships, or if I, formed new ones so quick. And looking back, I'm so glad that I took that time to be to myself and to really understand the kind of relationships that I want in my life, instead of jumping right into, another friend group or another relationship, or, just some sort of connection that wouldn't have actually been good for me. It was just something that I needed, or I was clinging to in that moment, just so I wouldn't feel alone, just so I wouldn't have to really face myself. I feel like that's really what the kind of concept is that we've been running from, is that a lot of the times we don't want to face what's actually in our dark side. And looking at things from this perspective, everything kind of made sense. And of course, though, it started off hard because I wasn't used to being so intentional. And when I say intentional, I'm talking about deliberately going and looking at the parts of you that are broken, the parts of you that you do not like, the parts of you that have been through hell and back. To look at all of those abusive things that you've been through and how that has created the monster that has, I wouldn't say monster, but has created those codependencies, created those toxic habits, created those addictions, all of the things that are really a coping mechanism so that you don't have to deal with what you're still hurting about from years and years and years ago, whether it be from your childhood. And the biggest illusion, I feel like, of today's society is that if we run away from our pain, it'll somehow go away. If we don't address the trauma, if we don't address the wounds, it'll just go away. And I used to have that same mentality, honey. Trust. But when you're in solitude, you have no choice but to face the music. And opening up to receiving that truth, opening up to receiving that awareness, I realized that those unpleasant emotions, those unpleasant feelings, those unpleasant sensations, if you will, needed to be felt, needed to be identified so that it can contribute to my healing and my growth. Staying in connections or relationships with people just for the sake of you not wanting to be alone actually will make you settle for anything. And that goes for love, that goes for friendship, that goes for family situations, that goes for any sort of relationship, platonic and romantic. It's like you misread flags, your intuition is off, you don't have a strong sense of discernment. You're more so focused on trying to escape the pain. And whatever that looks like in the moment is what you will do to try to escape it. And I'm not speaking from somebody who has never been through this, y'all. I'm telling you, these are the things that I've had to dig deep within myself to understand so that I could live a happier, healthier, wholer, more spiritually enlightened life. So everything I'm sharing with you all is real life experiences, real life lessons that I have been through and have had to identify for myself. And of course, with the the lessons comes the tests. There have been spaces that I've occupied where I've had to use my discernment and my intuition and really stay strong in my solitude, understanding that everybody is not your friend. Everybody's intentions are not pure. So I'm grateful for going through those sort of interactions because it just kind of confirmed what I already knew, and it confirmed my growth and my healing, actually. It was a beautiful symbolism that really reflected back to me how much I preferred my own company, my own solitude, over being in relationship with other people just for the sake of me wanting friends or wanting love or wanting, whatever sort of connections that I know I will have in the future. Being in solitude for so long helped me kind of strengthen my spirituality so I can feel the energy more intensely when I'm in certain environments around certain people. Because I know what balance feels like. I know what groundedness feels like because I felt it within my own presence, my own aura. So when I stepped into other people's aura and I can feel that, that little sense being kind of off, oh yeah, baby. We're gonna stay with Elijah. It's okay. Through this realization though, you guys, it really highlighted my priorities. It was such a pinnacle moment in my journey because I'm like, oh my goodness, I actually have gotten to a place where I love myself. Like, I actually love myself enough to not put myself in situations with people who are going to compromise my well-being. When you make those spiritual milestones, you guys, that feeling is indescribable. There's no words that can fathom the energy that you feel entering into your vessel, entering into your heart, entering into your soul. It's just, it's an otherworldly kind of thing, girl, if you know what I mean. Okay, bars, otherworldly thing, if you know what I mean. At one point, I needed to be around people, even if they were toxic. I needed to be partying. I needed to be doing all of these other kinds of things, girl, while partying. I needed to be in groups. I needed to just kind of distract myself. I needed to feel love, and if I couldn't get love, I'm going to get the substitute of it. I'm going to get the codependency version of it. Witnessing these changes really shifted my outlook on the impact of solitude. And it is such a refreshing experience. It pushes you to make your own rules without being influenced by society's superficial terms. The things I used to value, y'all, I realized I only valued them because the people around me valued them, or because it's something that was taught to me when I was grown up. Trying to keep up an illusion, it really creates this unnecessary burden, this unnecessary pressure of trying to keep up with the rat race. Y'all know how hamsters and rats and stuff, they run on the little wheels, honey, but they are running fast, they are getting absolutely nowhere. Yeah, I refuse to continue to participate in that. And solitude has also strengthened my spiritual gifts. It has gotten me closer to source. I'm able to see things clearly now. I'm able to see people's true intentions, which is very, very key in this society because a lot of people will present themselves a certain way, but behind the scenes, feel the completely opposite way about you that they try to, present to your face. So, honey, I'm telling you, this spiritual stuff, honey, it really, really has saved me because it has helped me open my third eye, and I can identify what needs to be identified so that I can save myself from any sort of, drama, toxicity. Before this period of solitude that I've been going through, you all, I could not identify those types of people. Solitude has also really regulated my nervous system. I talked about in the last podcast episode, just kind of the way that I've been leading my life. Just having that sacred time really has boosted my equilibrium. Honey, I love my bubble baths. I love my little cooking sessions with my music or my gospel, honey. I love a good book too. Oh, I love to read. Y'all can see I got my little mini library behind me. But it's like being alone has made the simple things, the small things, so much more fulfilling. And of course, I love adventure. I love to have fun, girl. I have, what's it called? I'm an adrenaline junkie. So like, I feel like my fun is more so like, I want to go on roller coasters. I want to do zip lining. I want to jump out of a plane. I want to go on a hot air balloon. Like, I like that kind of stuff. That's my kind of fun. But the way that I used to have fun is not in alignment with my higher self at all. Now that I am on a path of healing and renewal, my time is spent doing things that are more purifying, more therapeutic, if you will. And the biggest reason I really wanted to make this video is because I know a lot of people are afraid of being alone, and I'm here to tell you it is okay. I have been with me, myself, and I for 2+ years. Without my solitude, I wouldn't have gained the clarity, gained the confidence, gained the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to pursue my passion or to move out here to New York with no plan whatsoever. If I didn't choose my solitude, I wouldn't have healed the wounds that kept me in toxic patterns and relationships. It forced me to cry about the things I was still hurting about, whether it be from my childhood, whether it have been from recent years. It forced me to address the weak spots within and outside of myself that needed to be made stronger. Solitude has helped me realize if I want a successful life, I have to fix what's broken on the inside first. If my thoughts are scattered, I'm having a lot of heavy emotions that I'm not dealing with, I'm masking a lot of pain, I'm running away from it, I'm trying to cope, I'm clinging to certain things, I'm not going to be able to show up effectively to make my life the way that it needs to be in order for success to be sustained and maintained. The universe gives you solitude as a blessing, not a curse. It's the only way to clearly see what's actually holding you back. It stops you from putting yourself right back in a situation that was the initial reason for your first and only downfall. I strongly believe that we were all meant for something. I feel like we're all here for a certain reason. There's a purpose, a passion, a fire inside of us that we just have to tap into. The most important relationship that you could have is going to be the one that you cultivate within yourself. And that's going to look different for everyone, of course. But I found that nurturing myself both internally and externally really does the trick. It's like once you get into that peaceful bubble, once you start loving your own energy, once you start addressing the things that have kept you running away from yourself, running away from your pain, it's like anything outside of that, anything that's contributing to any sort of chaos, any sort of toxicity, any sort of drama is going to automatically repel you because you know what being in those spaces feel like and you no longer desire to be in those spaces because you have healed the version of yourself that has kept you clinging to that. And it is such a blessing to have my eyes be open in the way that they are now. To break away from the stigma that me being alone or me being in solitude is some sort of weakness, is some sort of fear that I need to be running away from. But what a lot of us fail to realize, if we would trust and we would open up and we would receive, there is support all around. There is love all around. There are beings that have loved you for eternity all around, protecting you, contributing to your growth, uplifting you, inspiring you. So sometimes your solitude is only physical, not spiritual. My girl Sue, get me. But I urge you guys to tap into that side of yourself. We all have a spiritual nature. I know everybody may not believe in it or everybody may not connect with it immediately. But before we were human, before we were a vessel, we were a spirit. We were a soul reincarnated. So opening up to receiving that, opening up to that side of yourself will have you seeing and witnessing things that you thought were impossible. But okay, enough of me rambling, enough of me talking. I just love these kinds of subjects. I'm so happy that you guys stuck around for this deep little convo if you're still here. But let me know down in the comments if you guys enjoyed this episode. How are you guys feeling about solitude? Have you experienced it? What's that like? What is your perspective on the topic that we discussed today? But I'm not going to take up any more of your time, you guys. I actually just uploaded a brand new vlog on my main channel, my music channel, my vlog channel now, girl. We're working on it. We're figuring out how to transition. But it's some new content over there, so check it out if you guys want to, see me live my beautiful New York life. And of course, stay tuned for the next episode of the Cozy Convos podcast. I love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, sending you so much love, light, and positive energy. And I hope you have an amazing week, an amazing day, an amazing night, all those cute kinds of things. With that being said, I will see you in the next episode. Kisses, hugs, and blessings. Mwah.